Have you set it up? Wow, I hope that applause is as warm when we get to the other side of this. I am going to tell you a story about my dog. He is a border collie. He's 14 years old. He's completely deaf. He's got sight in one eye, we're pretty sure of, not so sure of the other at the minute. And if I leave him for any length of time at all, he pees like a racehorse in our kitchen, sitting room, bedroom, wherever he happens to be. He's full of anxiety, but he's full of love, and he's my absolutely best friend. I met him at the Pound, as I say, 14 years ago. Our eyes met, and we became really, really, really close friends. And he became a compass for me in my life, not just because he's such a really good boy, but because he embodied everything I believed about the world. I'm a bit of a hippie at heart. I'm all about love and hugs and being positive and going out in the world and meeting people. And he was so good at all of this. And you would ask him, you know, and look, people know dogs and their owners, the relationship between them. People have written songs about it. People have written books about it. There's been movies about it. It really is a super wonderful thing. But it's just great when you say to a dog, let's go for a walk. And he doesn't go, oh, where are we going? How long are we going to be? Are we going to eat? Have you charged your Fitbit? He just goes out and he runs. And in this way, he became a real compass for me, because I went, that's how I want to live my life. And over these 14 years, I have lived my life as much as I possibly could the way that Rocco would, this philosophy of Rocco, I used to call it, this outlook he had, the people he met, the way he interacted with people. He didn't like everybody. He'll walk away from them too, but in general, he just loves people, he trusts people until they turn on him, and he's like, Grant, I'll turn on you too, and he's gone. One of the stories I like to tell about our relationship is, you know, I used to feel so bad for him. I'd come home, in the days when I commuted, I'd come home and I'd hear how anxious he'd been and how lonely he was on his own if there was somebody in the house, you know, and I thought, you know what, that dog needs a holiday. So he and I would set off for a week every year, just the two of us, off into the wild in the car. Now, my wife, kids didn't seem to mind. No one had a problem with it. We went all over the country. Now, my son did come one of the summers, and we had a wonderful time. The three of us, me, Sean, and Rocco, in a tent in Mayo. It was really, really, really a beautiful, beautiful time. We did Sligo, we did everywhere. We actually did Tipperary one time. We'd heard about this pub that only opens one night a week. It's a fabulous place. Haven't the time to tell you how great this place is, but I've made really firm friends there. And one of the rules I have on these trips is we only go to places where dogs could go. So if the pub doesn't let a dog in, then I can't go in. So we spent a lot of time drinking pints on the street, me and him, black and white dog, black and white pint, blue sky, everything was beautiful. So we head down to Tipperary, we find this pub, it's only open one night a week, fabulous family, they run it, they're farmers, the father and mother are farmers, and the kids are musicians, they're adults, they're musicians, they're writers, they're incredible well of culture. And they took some look at me as I came in with this dog into the pub, because for them, this is a working dog. It's a border collie. When they heard I was on holidays with my dog, they were like, and he was in charge, they were like, okay, this is really mad. And we became really good friends over that. We went back to the B&B, actually. It was about 3 kilometers away in Upper Church. And the guy said, oh, I heard you got your dog with you. And I said, yeah, he's sleeping in the boot of the car. And he goes, bring him up to the room, it's fine, no one will know. And I went, really? And he goes, yeah, I won't tell anyone. He's a liar. He told everybody. And when I went back there the next time, the whole townland knew about the man who slept with his dog up in the B&B and took him on holidays. Now, I lied too, because I said I wouldn't let him into the bed, and I did, so we're even in that regard. So I kind of tell that story because it's a reflection of how we work together, the two of us. We're just this happy clappy, having a fabulous time, trying to find goodness in the world and what we do and who we meet and stuff. And that all stopped then one Saturday morning. When the dog went crazy downstairs, it was 7 o'clock in the morning, I could hear him barking and barking. Then I heard my wife, and she's like shouting out the window, the curtains are pulled open, and I'm like, what is going on? And I sit up, and and she's like, they're stealing our car. Now, we live in a really nice place. We live in Skerries. It's middle class. It's a beautiful estate, nice place by the sea. We're lovely people. There's not a lot of crime. So when two men in balaclavas turn up outside your house to steal your car, which you only got 4 days ago, it really will set you for one. Now, they had a black Mercedes up at the top of the road, and she's shouting at them, and they're giving her the finger, and they jump in with their balaclavas into our car and into the Mercedes, and they speed off. Now, we're raging about this because we've just paid cash for this car. We didn't want to get into debt. We worked really hard to get this car. It was our car, and they came and they stole it. We think probably they didn't get in the door because Rocco was barking so much inside. But anyway, we called the police. The police did what they could. It's only a car. What can you do? I'm sure they had bigger fish to fry. They went off about their business. So I did what every middle-class person these days does. I stuck my story up on Facebook. So picture the car. The car was stolen in Skerries. And it all started popping. And a few hours later, I started to get messages from strangers because the car, there was a link, and the car had turned up on TikTok. So the people who had stolen it had stolen my car for TikTok content. And so when I clicked on the link, suddenly you see our lovely car. We only had it for 4 days, and it's spinning around the estates in Dublin. There's music belting out over it. There's graphics, the whole works. And then when you scroll through this guy's feed, he's stolen somebody else's car, and he's done the same thing. There he is on a motorbike. There he is on a push bike, what have you. And I got really, really angry about this, And so I spent a lot of time after that, because we had like a couple of months then without a car. I was really, really fed up that somebody could come and take it. So I spent a lot of time walking, and I walked with Rocco, and I was getting more and more obsessed with this. And then Rocco looked at me one day, and he goes, Gary, you're zero crack these days. And I says, really, do you think? And he goes, yeah, you're zero crack. You've got to get out of your head. You're in your own head all the time. Now, you wouldn't have heard that if you'd passed, but we have that kind of a connection. So I teach a class every week in St. Patrick's Mental Health Unit. It's a 90-minute creative writing class, and I've been doing it. It was a pilot during COVID. It's been really successful, and I get so much out of that. And I thought, maybe there's something I can do in that. Maybe there's some way I can interact with these guys who steal cars and different things. And my friend, Alicia, she's here tonight, actually, and we were talking about this. And she goes, well, look, I work in Oberstown. Now, Oberstown is the National Detention Campus, and it's not far from where we live. It's a top security, high security unit for young people between the age of 13 and the age of 18. They get sent there for some really, really terrible things. They get sent there because they've had a pretty bad time in life, and they've been washed up in this life of crime and drugs and different things. They get sent there on remand. And I thought, well, maybe there's something I can do there. So she set it up for me, and I went up and I met the woman who was running that part of the place. And it's proper security. It's like fab, like to be in here for this story, because this is probably higher security, I don't know. But it's, locks and doors and inside. But when I got inside, I met people that were just really focused on rehabilitation. They were really focused on finding out how these young people that are in the place stumbled. They want to help them. It's like intense care. It's intense support. So that when they come out, if they don't go on to prison, when they come out, they can have some skills to help them. So some people have become fitness trainers, certified. Some people have got trained as baristas, different things. There's a beautiful school in there. There's tennis courts, all sorts of things. Great, great, great facilities. And they liked what I wanted to do. And we had a big, long talk about it. And I left there, I was buzzing. But when I came home that night, I stuck on the 6-1 News. And there was a case, a horrible case of someone, a young person, a young male person who had committed this crime and was going to go to Oberstown. I said, oh, that's Oberstown. Do I really want to work with these people? I don't know. And then there was another one, and then another 6-1 News, and another 6-1 News, and all this kind of negativity about these young people. Suddenly I started forgetting everything they had told me inside about how great the opportunity is to help them. And Rocco would be sitting with me, watching these news, and he'd have his knee on my lap, because he never leaves my side, And that was fine. And months passed, and I didn't go back to them, even though they really wanted to do it, and I really wanted to do it. It was so unlike me not to. But I couldn't understand why. Until the night of the riots here a couple of weeks ago. And we all watched that footage, and we all watched what happened, and we saw the people, and I thought, these are the same guys. This is the same hoodies that you'll see everywhere. These are the people we're scared of. And then I realized what was wrong. I was afraid of these guys. I wasn't not going back because I didn't want to do it. I wasn't not going back for some other obscure reason. I was afraid of the people that I would meet and whether I really, really wanted to help them. So I look at Rocco, and I go, Rocco, what am I going to do? Now, the only sense that Rocco has left is his scent, so he gives you a big sniff of your hand, you know, if he's trying to encourage you to do something. And I went, fine, I'll take it. That's the encouragement. So I got back in touch with Auberstown. I hope that I can turn it into something good, because if I don't figure out my fear of these young guys, if we don't all figure out our fear of these young guys and live the way Rocco does, trust people until they've proven you that they can't be trusted, well then that, I believe, will be the biggest danger of all. They really are good clappers.